Mortal Kombat, a game so controversial that it spawned the ESRB rating system and so successful that it spawned 11 sequels. However, Mortal Kombat's peak in popularity was from the early 90s to the early 2000s, in which the game had spin-offs including 2 live-action movies, 2 cartoons, and a live-action TV show. Mortal Kombat was huge in the 90s, a fact I wouldn't know since I was born 14 years after the original game came out. However, I did not mention developers' favorite ways to make the sweet, succulent American dollar off of the consumers back then, the Game Boy ports. Midway specifically loved doing this, as there were 6 Mortal Kombat games released on Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. Now, were these games any good?
Fight!
No. No. Before I get into the general shittiness of Mortal Kombat Advance, I need to give some backstory about the development. Mortal Kombat Advance was released on December 12, 2001 in North America, and was released on February 21st of the next year in the EU. While Mortal Kombat Advance was published by Midway Games, it was developed by Virtuecraft, a studio so successful that they don't even have an English Wikipedia page at the time this video was recorded. I had to go to mobygames.com to find any information on these guys. Virtuecraft Studios was founded in 1999, but shut down in 2003 due to financial problems. The studio primarily developed GBA ports of already successful franchises such as NBA Jam and of course Mortal Kombat, but they also made movie tie-in games to animated TV shows such as Dexter's Laboratory and 2 Powerpuff Girls games. Mortal Kombat Advance received overwhelmingly negative reviews on release, its lowest score coming from Electronic Gaming Monthly coming in at 0.67 out of 10, Jesus Christ! User Stefan Kermes on Metacritic states, "The worst port of UMK3, you would have a better time wiping your ass with grip tape." It just goes to show you what the public's general perception of the port is. Ed Boon made it abundantly clear that he had nothing to do with Mortal Kombat Advance's development, and the game's failure is the main reason why Midway would develop both the Deadly Alliance ports themselves, Deadly Alliance and Tournament Edition. Now, let's get into why this game sucks ass. So why is Mortal Kombat Advance bad? Jesus Christ, there's so many reasons. The main 2 reasons I found while I played the game was how buggy it was and how many corners were cut. You'll notice the corners that were cut when we get to the character select screen. Despite the game being supposedly next-gen, Shiva is missing from the port's roster. Keep this in mind for a bug later. The cut content continues immediately when you notice that more than half the stages are gone along with any animation in the stages that are still present. The missing stages include the balcony, the bell tower, the bridge, the church, the graveyard, Jade's Desert, the Lost Bridge, although it does appear during the Choose Your Destiny sequence, the subway, the temple, and the waterfront. Once again, keep this in mind for later when I bring up the music tracks. Once again, the cut content continues with a lack of animalities, babalities, brutalities, stage fatalities, and over half the fatalities that appeared in the original game. Each character only gets 1 fatality and 1 friendship. That is embarrassing. You'd think that Midway would have picked up some slack, but this port is even worse than the Mortal Kombat 3 port, which, mind you, is missing half the characters. And guess what? It keeps going. Most of the soundtrack is gone too, and remember when I told you to keep the stages in mind? The only tracks to appear here are Continue, Choose Your Destiny, Victory, Fatality, friendship, the bank, the bridge, the balcony, and the church. Yes, you heard that right. Most of the stage audio tracks in the game are of stages that don't appear in the game. One of maybe the only positive I can find with the game is that Shao Kahn's sound bites are actually quite clear compared to the console ports.
Round 1, fight. Fight.
But guess what? There's more cut content because the soundbite for the round announcement is also missing. To end off our metric shit ton of things missing from the game, when you beat the game, the sequence where Shao Kahn's castle explodes is not present. Along with that, Shao Kahn's lost treasures, you know, the sequence at the end of the game where you get to pick what you want after beating the game, that's also missing too. Honestly, it's just incredibly embarrassing how much is gone from this port compared to the home console version. And if that wasn't bad enough, the game is a buggy nightmare. There's not many presentation bugs, but once we get to the gameplay, you will see the sheer amount of bugs and glitches that this game has to offer. The biggest presentation bug I found is that somewhat often, the male characters will sometimes use Shiva's voice instead of their own. And if you remember at the start of this segment, she's not even in the fucking game. So if the presentation is bad, is the gameplay better? Well, you saw the start of the video. It's not. You know it's not. Good lord, where do we begin here? Well, to start, I'll mention the controls. Despite the GBA being a new console with 2 more buttons with the L and R buttons, Mortal Kombat Advance is still a 2-button fighter with just A and B. No high punch, no low punch, no high kick, and no low kick. You just get punch and kick, with the D-pad determining which move you actually perform. Not to mention, but this is the worst feel of any Mortal Kombat game I've ever played. The player movement specifically is so clunky and slow compared to how fast and precise the AI is. Oh yeah, the AI. It sucks. Probably the most notable thing about this port, the AI is so unbelievably broken in this game and will perform moves faster than any normal human can react. During my playthrough, I specifically noticed that Motaro is the absolute worst when it comes to this. He will just constantly teleport around, shoot, what are these called? Energy balls? We're just gonna go with energy balls, and just kick you non-stop while you are unable to react. I'm sure you've noticed by now through the gameplay, but I defined exploits and spams to figure out how to win a round. The first way I figured out was to back into the left corner and then just spam sweep. The only other way I could figure out how to win is even dumber than that. With all of the non-boss characters in the game, if you just walk forward into them, sometimes they'll just back into the corner. And if you only punch, the AI will do nothing.
What?
I mean, come on, the AI is so buggy and bad in this game that you need exploits and move spams just to win a round. I know early Mortal Kombat AI is bad, but this is just insane. You'd be better off playing arcade Mortal Kombat 2 or hell, even Mortal Kombat Trilogy on very hard, and those would seem like cakewalks compared to this. I'm sorry, I couldn't even fucking beat the game on my playthrough. I didn't even get to fight Shao Kahn because Motaro kept kicking my ass. The worst of it came when I tried to win with the low kick spam by running out the timer, and then I lost with a second remaining. I'm sorry, but that broke my spirit. I'm not playing more of this game. Oh, and if that wasn't bad enough, here's a quick lightning round of stupid shit I experienced while playing this game. When an AI Sub-Zero uses the Ice Ball, he is unable to hit you while you are frozen. AI characters can block a low kick with a high block. Jade's staff does not glow purple and instead glows... What is that? Is that brown? If you use a Sub-Zero freeze during the fatality sequence, you can prolong the duration of the fatality sequence and run down the timer at the top of the screen. And to finish off the bullshit, endurance round characters will just spawn on top of the character you just beat. I'm so done with this game. I cannot. So what are my final thoughts of the game? I think this game is deservedly called one of the worst games ever. The presentation is bad, the gameplay is bad, and the sheer amount of cuts made to the game make it almost unrecognizable from the arcade version and even the Sega Genesis version. I genuinely believe this to be the worst Mortal Kombat game of all time. If you stayed until the end, thank you so much for watching my first video. I'm going to try and stay consistent and post more YouTube videos in the near future. Please consider subscribing if you aren't already if you like videos like this. If you want to see more of my content, sometimes I stream over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Macrosty. I'm not sure if it'll be here in a month, but I'm also on TikTok too at Macrosty if you want to follow me there. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!